OMG guys, can we just take a moment to appreciate this photo here?
Yeah, just take a look at this iconic landmark on the left here. Do you know what this is? This is actually...
Gardens by the Bay.
Yes, it's Gardens by the Bay. So can you imagine owning or staying in a unit beside Gardens by the Bay? It's amazing, right? Yeah, so today we'll be introducing to you...
OMG, not oh my god, but One Marina Gardens.
Okay, but today, right, we will be going with a different angle in our project analysis for OMG, mainly because we feel that this area will attract a lot more...
rental yield. Any investors?
Yes, it will attract a lot more investors. So we'll be focusing on the rentability and the rental yield around the area.
So Marcus, when will this project be launching?
Okay, so the period for OMG will be between 29 March to 8th of April, and the booking day will be on the 12th of April. But Gina, what's also launching alongside OMG during this period?
Bloomsbury Residences.
Yeah, so actually, right, if a developer is launching, basically they are clashing with another developer in their launch period lah. So what does this mean to you as a consumer out there?
Number one, I think the developers will have some stress. So they will price their products more competitively lah.
Yeah, basically if they are fearful, they will not be so aggressive in their pricing, and this will present you with a good opportunity to enter the market. Okay, so yeah, anyway, this is also some artist impression. So just imagine in your master room waking up to this view. Oh my god, it's really, oh my god, spectacular. Okay, so
other perspectives of how it will look like. Two towers here, and over here on the Sky Gym level 45, this is a very, very beautiful view. Then this one is from the balcony view. So Marina South MRT is actually ready. It's just that it's not operating yet. But once the residents starts to move in, then they will start the operations lah. So it is directly located at your development basement level. So fully sheltered, not to worry, rain or shine.
okay, so this is Marina South as a new township over here. You can see that there's gonna be 16 plots of GLS. But what does it mean? Because we are basically the first plot over here, first harmonized plot to launch with direct access to the MRT. So over here, there's another 4 more plots of similar residents with a commercial on their first level. And notice that this area are all actually white sites.
Yeah.
So what is actually white site, Gina?
It is a flexible land zoning, allowing diverse users in one development. So can be hotels, etc., residential as well.
Yeah, so basically white sites can be used to build anything that
Office.
yeah, according to the government's plan lah, basically. So this will actually revamp this whole Marina South area and gives you this first mover advantage basically, you know, when you're entering into OMG today. So moving on, these are some of the project information.
Okay, developer is Kingsford.
So one of their recent development is Chuan Park lah,
yes.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and they are famous for Normanton Parkwell.
So OMG is actually a twin tower block. One block of 44 story high and another block of 30 story. So it comprises of 937 units with
A childcare center, shops, restaurants, communal facilities, and basement car parks. So total number of lots, 445 car park lots with 9 EV lots. And then the expected TOP will be in 2028.
yeah, Q3 2028. So these are the details from architect all the way to your project interior designer lah. It's explanatory over here. Okay, so moving on, this is our site plan. So actually one look from site plan, you can see that basically 2 towers lah. And we have all sorts of different orientation to cater to a different group of buyers depending on what they are buying for actually in terms of their priorities. Whether do they want views, unblocked views, or do they want something that is just going in with
The lowest quantum.
yeah, okay. So next up, these are some of the amenities lah in the respective levels for the block 3 versus block 5.
five.
So you'll notice that block 5 we have basically 14th floor, 34th story
And the
as
for
well.
office.
Yes, as the top floor. So your Sky Gym is actually located here as what we shared with you in the earlier perspective. But importantly is we want to know, buying into OMG, we want to talk about the views, right? Because we just now show you wow, so spectacular the views. So Gina will share with you more.
You're located along the Marina Drive. This view is Gardens by the Bay. So for the Marina Gardens Drive, the stacks facing here will actually have very nice view of Gardens by the Bay and open view to Marina Gardens Bay Sands and the Central Business District. Whereas the stacks over here, you have also the view to Gardens by the Bay and open view to East Coast and Kallang. These stacks here, you will see the open sea view to the Singapore Straits, and over here, open sea view to Sentosa and Singapore Straits.
Okay, but the disclaimer over here is that because we are the first plot to launch, the 360 degrees surrounding us right now is technically we have views lah. But subsequently, when the future plots of what we share with you, the white side or regardless the other residential plots that are gonna launch, they are potentially gonna be blocking us a little.
Yes.
But
URA already said that the plots will be staggered, so we will have some pocket unblocked.
yeah, so not to worry that, oh, if today I buy a high floor, imagine a block is gonna erect and totally block my view.
The safest will be the Gardens by the Bay view.
And that's why, so you'll notice that the bigger units are loaded towards this view because this is something that is going to be unblocked. Government will not suddenly just tear down Gardens by the Bay lah. So you can be rest assured that if you want something with very good views, then basically this direction is where you are focusing on. Okay, so this is how the views are gonna look like from the roof. So it's very nice. Likewise, this is the northeast and the southwest views. So these are views from the level 10. Actually, from the level 10, you can see that facing the Gardens by the Bay, you still have a very nice city skyline view and partial of the Marina Bay Sands lah. So actually, wherever we are looking at in terms of facing, we are either seeing greenery, we are gonna see some water bodies, or we are gonna see some nice buildings basically. Okay, so this is
the unit mix. Basically, we have 1 bedder all the way to 4 bedroom here in One Marina Gardens. We can see that this development mainly comprises of the smaller units due to number one, rentability lah.
So basically 1 and 2 bedroom end up will amount to almost 70% of the development. So basically the developers themselves already foresee that the demand of consumers coming into here will very likely be buying smaller units for investment purposes. So this is the schematic chart. Basically our lowest residential unit will start from the level 2 with car parks on the basement.
Yeah, we have car park until basement 2. Okay, we'll be talking about the 1 bedroom analysis, and it will be different as to our previous videos because mainly the people who are buying here are probably investors. And here we will be talking about the same size 1 bedroom layouts, which are located over here, mainly the green ones, just that stack 2 and stack 20, they are of a different size, so that one we never compare.
Okay, so we are not going to deep dive into the layout, but one look you can see that all of the bedroom is actually connected to your master bathroom, and they give you a Jack and Jill entrance to your master bathroom. So of course 1 bedroom does not come with enclosed, so you get your very standard galley kitchen, you know, opening from your doorway. But other than that, yeah,
pretty much standard.
Similar.
Yeah, the only difference is maybe the foyer.
Okay, so what we do is we take some of the Tanjong Pagar 1 bedroom developments to actually predict the rental yield for our OMG. So as you can see that for Icon, right? Icon actually the 1 bedroom, they have various sizes. We have from as small as the 5 to 600 square feet size, all the way to bigger 1 bedroom size of 700-ish to 800 square feet. But one thing you'll notice is that basically when the size is smaller, you'll see that the rental price per square foot, right, is generally higher. So for Icon is 7.27, the 600 to 700 square feet will be $7 PSF, as well as the bigger 1 bedroom will drop to $6.80 per square foot. So next one will be the Cliff. Yeah.
Okay, so for Cliff, we have smaller units for the 1 bedder, starting from 400 to 500 square feet, average PSF $9.45, and for the bigger units, 800 to 900 square feet, average PSF dropped to $5.91, a difference of $4.
Yeah, quite substantial actually. And lastly, we took one Altes.
Another development to prove our point further. So for here in Altes, we have 500 square feet to 600 square feet. Average PSF is $8.73. And as for the bigger units, 800 to 900 square feet, average PSF is $6.71. So here is the summary of our Tanjong Pagar 1 bedder rental. The reason why we use Tanjong Pagar, right, is because they have this development like the Cliff where the size matches our OMG sizing, roughly 400 plus PSF. So for the Cliff, the rental PSF $9.45, and the bigger units over here across the 3 projects is around $5 to $6 range lah.
Yeah, so basically we want to establish that the smaller the square foot, the higher your rental average PSF lah. Okay, so using this understanding, right, we can apply to ONG to predict what kind of yield we can get. But before that, let's start off with the Marina Bay rental yield. So first up, we have the sale at Marina Bay. So you see that, right, the average price of these two will have a 1.284 million, and the average rental price here we work out to be about 4,450. And with that, we'll have a rental yield of 4.16% for the one bedrooms here. So actually, I think 4.16 is
It's a very
quite healthy actually rental yield. But let's move on and compare with others. Next up, Marina Bay Residences. So Marina Bay Residences, unfortunately, we only have one recent transaction. So we take an average of 1.53 mil versus, you see, across the board is 6,001. So this gives you a whooping 4.78% rental yield for Marina Bay Residences, much higher than the sale. But both are at least above the 4% mark already.
And as for Marina One Residences, average purchase price 1.565 mil, average rental $4,950. And we can see from here that the rental yield actually dropped to 3.8%.
So for Marina One is actually a little bit underwhelming. It falls below the 4% threshold for rental yield, coming at 3.8%. But maybe let's explore why is that so. Okay, so this is basically the Marina Bay comparison between the three projects that we have just shared previously. But you'll realize that the highest rental yield was actually the Marina Bay Residences and the lowest rental yield was Marina One. But you'll see that Marina One having the lowest rental yield, right? In fact, over the past 5 years, from 2020 Q1 to 2025 Q1, you'll see that from point 1 to point 2, we actually saw a drop of 6% in terms of the property performance, in terms of the average PSF basically. So this is basically, right, to share with you that in such areas, you really have to have a very good rental yield for you to be able to sell at a better price. Why? Because very likely when you sell off to your next buyer is not going to buy for own stay. They are also buying this for investment, and hence they are looking at rental yield. So to have a very high rental yield and then exiting will put you in a very safe position. So that's why Marina One Residences also partly their purchase price was very high, and that's why overall the rental yield does come down a little bit. So if you are an investor looking to buy into this area, this is something that you want to take note, rental yield. Okay, so using just now's average rental PSF that we have worked out for you for our One Marina Gardens basically, because our size, we have two different sizes, 420 square feet as well as 431 square feet. So we work out $10, $11 and $12 rental PSF respectively based on the size, right? This is the rental we need to hit, but this is to achieve a 4.2% rental yield. So we want to ideally have at least a 4.2% rental yield so we can stand out as compared to our neighboring competitors basically.
In the future, when you want to sell, at least you know that your future buyers are also looking at the rental yield and whether or not they can accept that threshold.
Yeah, so just imagine you buy it at 4.2%, you sell to your next buyer probably can get a 3.8, 3.9. That is also still matching to some of the resale competitors around there. So that's why we want to ideally have a 4.2% rental yield. Okay, so based on the rental PSF and the rental yield, this is actually the ceiling price lah. But of course,
maximum purchase price for this 120 square feet, in order to achieve a 4,200 rental, this is your max amount, $1.2 million. And subsequently, for rental PSF to be $11, the purchase price capped at 1.3 million. And then for $12 PSF, your purchase price capped at 1.45 million. Anything above your rental yield will not be as good. If not, then you will need to increase your rental PSF, which will be very tough, honestly.
Because it's subject to market also.
Yeah, subject to your neighbors as well. So if your neighbors buy cheaper than you, they can definitely have a better rental yield.
So if you are fortunate enough, your better number is good, you can choose a unit that is maybe low 1.2 million, but yet next time, if you can rent out at $12 rental PSF, you are almost getting 5% rental yield. Isn't that good? Okay, so this is for basically the 431 square feet. So this is the price point, slightly higher than the 420 square foot because of course this is larger, so the quantum will be a bit higher. Okay, so this is how you can strategize on the launch day accordingly to the rental yield percentage you want. Of course, if you are looking for a higher rental yield, then your purchase price have to be lower, which is very hard. So I think 4 to 4.2% is quite a good gauge for now already. Okay, so now moving on, two bedroom. Yes, two bedroom analysis.
Okay, so two bedroom, we have a lot of layout types. For this 464 square feet, we have 2 over here located at stack 9 and 10. So these are the 2-bed, 2-bar. Basically, they are mirror image lah. Pretty standard foyer come-in kitchen, a dining area, and toilets are attached to the bedrooms.
Yep.
Next one, we have another 2 layouts. Same size, 657 square feet, stack 27 and 21. So these two are different because for the stack 27 unit, it is a dumbbell layout. You have an additional study which can also be a store, and you have a proper dining area. And as for the other unit here, stack 21, it is a more conventional 2-bedroom layout. So for you come in, you have the dining area and then the rooms are all flanked to one side here. So depending on your needs, whether for investment or for own stay.
Okay, so next up we have the 667 square feet, 1 stack, stack 26 facing the pool over here. So at least this one's slightly more enclosable kitchen. The rest is now, the kitchen cannot be enclosed. You have a nice tucked-in dining area, dumbbell, quite normal, and then you got your Jack and Jill bath, whatnot. Okay, next up we have the 678 square feet. This is the premium facing. Notice over here, so you are facing the MBS, Garden by the Bay, city skyline. That's why 678. One thing is, coming from the main door, right, you'll notice that no doubt this is not an enclosable kitchen, but you'll feel that the unit is very spacious because of this very wide width over here, as well as a nice L-shaped tuck-away kitchen. Your dining is in front of your kitchen area, and they give you a small study area over there. And the bath is not exactly a Jack and Jill with your bedroom too, but it's a nicely tucked at one corner. So I think overall this layout is still quite decent. But importantly is, people will buy this for the view mainly. Another 689, but from this 689 square feet, the bigger one, you'll notice that it comes with a proper household shelter already. But other than that, quite similar. Another 2 types of 721 square feet, 2-bedroom, where there is also proper household shelter, dumbbell shape, similar across. Yeah. But of course, stack 4 is also one of the more premium facing.
But you gotta go mid-floor.
Yeah. Okay, so likewise, now we are gonna take the Tanjong Pagar 2-bedroom rental to work out what's our OMG's rental yield like. Okay, so Skyscraper at Anson first up, 600 to 700 square feet. We have an average PSF of $8.2.
Okay, for Icon, 900 to 1,000 square feet, average at $6.12 PSF. As for Altest, 1,100 square feet to 1,200 square feet, average PSF $7.05. So proving our point again that the smaller square feet units, PSF is higher as compared to the bigger ones. It's around the $6 to $7 PSF.
Okay, so for Altest it's a little bit different, but generally, right, as the bigger you go, your PSF will come down. Likewise, we took the sale at Marina Bay to also see what's the Marina Bay rental yield like. Average purchase price of the sale, 1.7 million versus the average rental of $6,067. It will give you a 4.28% rental yield, which is also quite good, quite decent, for a 2-bedroom. And then next up, we will have
Marina One Residences. Average purchase price, 2.3 mil. Average rental price, $7,483. Rental yield, 3.9%, which is honestly not bad.
Still quite good.
Still quite good.
So I think, right, generally for 2-bedroom, the minimum threshold for investors to accept is a 4% rental yield. But for the 1-bedroom just now, right, the minimum they are looking at is at least between 4.2 to 4.5, that kind of range. So this is something to note. So based on the respective $9, $10, and $11 rental PSF, this is the rental we can get based on our square footage. But in order to achieve a 4% rental yield, this is your ceiling purchase price that you should be looking at. So now moving forward, we have the 3-bedroom analysis.
Okay, 3 bedrooms. This one is our 3-bedroom compact, 904 square feet. You can see from this layout, pretty standard last. Foyer come in, you have enclosable kitchen. Honestly, a weird dining area. You have a household shelter located here, and all the rooms are flanked to this corner. And you can see actually the master bedroom, right? The view is gonna be spectacular. And do note that 1 bedroom, no wardrobe, this one. Okay, this unit stack is stack 3, will face the Gardens by the Bay view.
Okay, so next up we have 3-bedroom door key, 969 square feet. So interestingly, they brought in the dual key into this development. But actually not stated interestingly, but because dual key usually is more for renting out, investors renting out to 2 separate profiles. So which later on we'll touch more on this. Okay, but the 3-bedroom, 980 square feet, we have this stack 12 over here. Yes, we will see that there's this little bit slanted aircon ledge. So I think it's just the facade, but luckily it does not affect in terms of your internal unit lah. Another 1012 square foot 3-bedroom. This one, at least they give you a nice home shelter over here already. Likewise, all their bedroom 3 does not come with a wardrobe. I think Kingsford like to do this. They give you this flexibility to redesign your bedroom to how you want it to be. And then now we have our 3 premium. So 3 premium, we have the 1066 square feet stack 24 over here.
Good amount of privacy at the foyer.
And then they give you a dry kitchen. Yeah.
Standard lah, household shelter located here. One of the bedrooms, no wardrobe, and pretty much standard. Yeah. Okay, so the other 3-bedroom premium, 1173 square feet, stack 5, overlooking the function room and gardens by the bay. So same thing, good amount of privacy with kitchen and a yard with WC and household shelter. But for this one, we don't have the dry kitchen. Okay, 3-bedroom premium, type 2, 1238 square feet, stack 17, also overlooking gardens by the bay. This one, same thing, good amount of privacy at the foyer. But for here, they give the dry kitchen along with the yard, WC, household shelter. And same thing, 1 bedroom does not have a wardrobe.
But the living room is slightly wider.
Wider with the landscape.
And master bedroom will have walk-in wardrobe.
Because it's a premium unit.
Yes. Okay, so our 3-bedroom top choice will be the dual key. I think it's very self-explanatory why we choose dual key, because like we said, over here, OMG buyers are buying for investment mostly. Okay, so having a 3-bedroom dual key, you can actually rent out the 2-bedroom to, let's say, tenant A, and then the studio we can rent out to tenant B. And how we break down this rental price that we get is, of course, by estimation based on just now our earlier illustration where the 1-bedroom can command, let's say, a $10 PSF, and then the 2-bedroom can command, let's say, $9 PSF. So we take an approximate of 400 square foot for the studio, okay, multiply by 10 PSF and 569 multiplied by $9, and we add them up together. It will give us a $9,121 rental price. So assuming we enter at a $2,900 PSF, the purchase price will be 2.8 mil, slightly above, and this gives you a rental yield of 3.9%. So having a rental yield 3.9% for a 3-bedroom, I think is very good, because as you realize just now, the 1-bedroom rental yield is higher, then when it comes to 2-bedroom it goes lower, and then now 3-bedroom it comes down slightly lower again, but we are close to 4%. So investors who have the budget to go up to 3-bedroom, you can really consider this 3-bedroom dual key.
Do note that there is no door over here, so you will need to install your own. As for the layout, straightforward lah. This one will be the 1-bedder or the studio unit. Then the rest you can rent to a family profile.
Yeah, okay, so now we want to analyze dual key, because dual key is something that people tend to avoid actually. But I think for OMG, we are advocating consumers to actually really consider having a dual key as one of their options, of course, if they can afford, based on the quantum. Okay, so a condo's dual key versus a EC dual key is very different in the sense because of the price point. You can see that we took these 2 examples, La Fiesta and the Topiary. So La Fiesta, we have a 3-bedroom at 1.7 million, the 4-bedroom classic 1098 square foot at 1.82, as well as the 4-bedroom dual key, you see jump by almost 300 square feet plus, 2.3 plus, but the gap is a lot over here. But you see for Topiary's, the 4-bedroom dual key almost at 1400 square foot, it is 1.95. But actually the thing is, right, if today I'm a buyer for 4-bedroom, how many bedrooms do I need?
4 bedrooms.
Yeah, I'll need 4 proper bedrooms. Why be considering this 4-bedroom dual key?
Because a 4-bedroom dual key essentially is a 3-bedroom with an additional studio. So if you are buying for own stay, honestly, for me as a buyer, I will not consider a 4-bedroom dual key, because I'll be paying the extra, say, 300-400K just for an extra studio, and yet I cannot get my additional bedroom.
Yeah, so I will definitely need the 4-bedroom classic. But on the flip side, right, if let's say 4-bedroom dual keys to have 3 proper bedrooms, notice the 3-bedders here, 1.7 mil. Can a 3-bedroom buyer, if they can stretch their budget, can they consider this Topiary's 4-bedroom dual key? 1.95. If they can stretch, they have this flexibility of having one more studio to rent out to cover their monthly mortgage, or let's say they have an elderly family staying with them, maybe their grandparents, they can also give the studio to their grandparents, and yet they are all staying in the same unit. They can supervise, having an elderly in the unit as well. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. But of course, when you are buying into a 4-bedroom dual key really into a condo, the quantum, it blows up a lot. So like you say, not like last time we tell people, hey, don't buy dual key, don't buy dual key. But over here,
if it's for rental, definitely go for dual key.
So this is the analysis for the dual key. Lastly, we have our 4-bedroom analysis. So 4-bedroom, we have this, in fact, only one stack. 1647 square foot, stack 19. And yes, they give you the premium views and premium facing. So since this is the only stack, let's just take a look a little bit at the layout. Okay, but notice one look is the 4-bedroom here does not come with private lift. I think something I will appreciate, buying to OMG already, I will want to have the private lift. I mean, if private lift is not a deal breaker for you, then I think this is still something that you can consider. You have a very nice big kitchen over here, glass panels, a nice very long L-shaped dry kitchen, a nice proper tuck away home shelter, as well as very wide frontage of your living dining area. Junior master ensuite, okay, master bedroom with the 270 degrees panoramic view, especially based on the earlier perspective we show you, waking up seeing these Gardens by the Bay, Singapore Flyer, MBS and city skyline view. Wow, it's quite nice. That's why people will still be buying into OMG for own stay as well. No doubt we feel that there's going to be a lot of investors coming into the development, but there's still going to be bound to have people buying for own stay. Okay, so bedroom 3 here, okay, and 12 as bedroom 4. We have a little nice window and bedroom 4. Notice that they position the aircon latch behind such that you will have full-length windows over here for both your bedroom 3 and bedroom 4.
So all in all, if you're buying into OMG, number one, emphasize on the rental yield. And we also need to do the unit selection by understanding the developer's pricing strategy, because the prices will only be out on 12 April itself, the launch day. So on the launch day, it is very, very important for you to calculate the floor loading and the different stack premium.
To emphasize on the rental yield, as what we shared before, having a high rental yield will help you in the ease of exiting to your next investor. So this is something you really want to focus. It's not blindly like just buying. You want to enter into something that makes sense for you based on not just a quantum but the rental yield that you are looking at.
Example, if you can fetch a 5 or 5.5 rental yield, it's very easy for you to exit in the future, because you can price it in a way where your next buyer can enter at a 4% rental yield, and that is also considered very, very good already. So don't need to worry about exiting in the future as long as the quantum you enter at is good.
Okay, so next up, developer pricing strategy. Kingsford is always known for same day when they are selling very well, right? They price up and price up. So in fact, Trump Park, it happened how many times? I think 4 rounds of price revision. So we just use Trump Park, right, as an example to determine how are they gonna price their OMG units here. Okay, so the thing is, their second floor in Champa, that's what happened. Second floor and their third floor. Okay, there is this noticeable jump of between 100 to even 200k. Can you imagine? Your ballot number not good enough. You have to choose third floor. You are already paying 200k higher than your second floor neighbor. But if this is gonna be uniform across all the stacks, then no choice lah, right?
Okay, but one saving grace for the Champa is that after third floor, right, the rest of the jump per level is only $4,000. So if I were the buyer, right, definitely I will go for mid to high floor lah. Since second floor is only kind of reserved for the better ballot numbers, no choice, I will go for higher floor already.
So they usually take maybe, let's say, about 0.3% per floor jump. So if you are buying into a 1 bedroom, 0.3% is basically about 3k per floor jump. So of course, if the per floor jump is 3k and you ask me whether should I be buying mid floor, should I be buying high floor? Actually, the thing is, yes, you can go ahead to consider really mid or even high floor because the per floor jump is really that low. So on the launch day, when you see that, let's say stack 1, 2, 3, 4 is something that you're looking at, work out the second and third floor for these 4 stacks that you shortlist. Is there any stack that don't have such a substantial in the jump? If don't have that kind of 100, 200k jump, maybe their jump is 20, 30k. Or then maybe that stack is something as an investor you want to go into. Okay, then after that, work out the 4th, 5th and 6th floor to see whether are they really gonna use this 0.3% and uniform across 3k jump as per what Gina has shared earlier. Okay, then next up, once we know the floor loading ready, we want to also focus on whether the facing, will they load the bay facing premium versus the non-bay? How much is that percentage? And usually when they load into facing, right, they will not load low floor. They generally load
on the higher floor.
Yeah, at least mid floor to higher floor. So you want to take a mid floor or a high floor for bay versus non-bay to work out the price premium. So if let's say the bay view, right, is really a lot more expensive than your non-bay view, as an investor, then we will advise you to just go for the non-bay view. But if today you're buying for own stay and views is really what you're going for, then just ignore what we have just shared. Because if you're buying for own stay, yes, this view is really what consumers are looking out for, then just by all means, if you have the budget to stretch, go high floor, whatnot, go ahead. But we are talking to the investors specifically. If you are really buying this in terms of getting a good rental yield, then you will really want to analyze based on the launch day how the developer is going to price it. So I hope that you have good ballot, because if not, 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, maybe 4 rounds of price revision will come in again.
Of course, if you still need any help, if all these are still very unclear and confusing for you, feel free to drop us a text lah. We'll be happy to assist also.
Yeah, so basically we come to the end of our OMG project analysis. Basically this time around we really do it very different as per what last time we did, a lot of floor plans comparison, but this time around it's a lot more numbers, giving you the insights into rental yield so that you can gauge for yourself what is a safe price for you to enter. So this is how we can help you to actually strategize, by watching this video, right, before launch day.
You can prep yourself.
Yeah, you can kind of prep yourself already. Yeah, so this is our 2 QR codes over here. Hope that you have benefited from this sharing. Do feel free to like, share and subscribe our channels, and we hope to see you at the OMG show flat itself. Thank you. Bye guys.
Bye.